Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I have so many thoughts. So, in some ways, this is kind of like the morning of Jason, part 4 or 3. I've lost count. Um, Now, I was not there watching a little bit of Brock TV's video, and granted, I already knew about the fact that they said that they weren't going to recast Jason, which I actually think is a smart idea. Um, I do. I really do. It's one of those things where it's like, the last time that they recast Jason, it was very mixed. Okay, it was very mixed. There was some people that really loved the new Drew. It was like, we don't care about we don't care about the old one. We just love the new Drew. And there was some people who were like, yo, screw that guy. Where's Steve at? When is he coming back? Um, for me, I was kind of in the middle. I was in the middle about it. Because while I felt that, let's be honest, when you have these roles and you've been doing it for so long, it's very difficult for anyone to come in and do it exactly like how you're doing it, you know? So in that sense, I was like, yeah, I miss Steve, But at the same time, I had to sit there and kind of look at it like, you know what, this guy is bringing something different to the table. When Billy came in, Billy brought something different to the table than Steve. He brought a different side to Jason. He had a little bit more of a sense of humor. He smiled more. I actually remember him wearing different colors other than, black. He brought something different to the character. On top of that, he put Sam first. He put Sam and his children first. Um, as much as I love the original Jason, Steve, and everything like that, Steve was about Sonny and Carly. Um, Drew's version, or Billy's version, was about Sam and the kids. Um, and that was probably the one thing that when Jason would sit there and talk about his son and stuff like that, oh, I love my son, this, that, and the third. I'm like, prove it. Prove it. Now, I know he tried to leave out the mob before and it didn't work, but you know what? Listen, when you're a parent, you move mountains. You move mountains, and that is all I'm going to sit there and say about that. You do what you got to do. So, on that note of, should they recast him? No, I don't think that they should. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, depending on which way this whole thing goes, I'm not entirely opposed to the idea because, like I said, I did appreciate Billy's version of Jason. So I'm gonna say nay for now, but you know, I wouldn't be all if they did. Yeah. Now the one thing that I can actually appreciate, 'cause, everyone's to talk about Jason. He's gone. He missed so much. This, that, and the third, and it sucks. Not what they're saying, but it sucks because it's true. Um, I'm missing Steve already. I'm missing him as Jason, and it's I mean, at this point, for people who have been watching my videos, you know that Jason's my guy. Okay? But the one thing that I can actually sit there and appreciate throughout this whole thing is Cameron being Drew. I am really liking his character so far. And the thing is, he hasn't really done much. He really hasn't. But just his presence and him just being there um, is I don't want to sit there and say it's like a consolation prize, but it's nice, you know? Because let's be honest, this whole Steve, Jason thing it's gonna be this way for a while, for better or worse. Um, but it is nice seeing Cameron be Drew, and I am just loving his character more every day, and he hasn't really done anything, so I can't wait. I mean, he hasn't done anything so far, so I can't wait until he starts doing, he gets into something. Um, Sonny and Carly was with Donna, and they were sitting there talking about Jason, and they miss him and everything like that. And Drew came over, and they talked, got caught up with everything. Drew feels bad because, he's alive at the cost of Jason being gone, you know? But, yeah, that was about it. That was about it for the most part. I mean, they talked about Castle Island. He doesn't even know if the programming, like, if Peter can still sit there and activate him. Um, which is one of those things where it's like, man, that kind of sucks because you're already in Port Charles and, Max is in Port Charles. So he can still pretty much activate you. Yeah. So I guess we'll just wait and see about that. Alexis and Sam got caught up. Alexis learned about Drew. I mean, Alexis learned about Jason, and Alexis was sitting there asking questions like, Drew being back and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel? Like, your emotions must be all over the place. You're in love with Drew. You lost Jason. Like, what is going on with you? And I'm not gonna lie, when she was sitting there talking about that, I just sitting there remembering that Sam really did Drew dirty. Really did him dirty. And this is after Drew was like, yo, listen, I know that Jason's back, and if you want to be with him, I understand. And she decided to marry him anyway. And then she decided to cheat on him with Jason, which was one of the very few times I was actually disappointed in Jason. And then you know what she did? Oh, she just left. She just went away. She wanted to clear her head after she made a mess out of the situation. And in a lot of ways, kind of like pitted them against each other. And then she was like, oh, I'm just going to take the kids and just go away. Yeah, Sam really, this character, there's times that I like her, and then there's other times I'm just like, you, Of course, she didn't really sit there and talk, and granted, she talked about Dante a little bit, I think. Not gonna lie, I don't really remember that, but I do remember her, talk about how she went to work with Alexis as far as being a PI. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that she was working. I mean, I knew she wasn't doing Aurora Media and stuff like that, even though she walked around with the shirt on like she was, Anyway, I was just not there thinking, I was like, so she doesn't really do anything, right? Like, I know she has somebody else running the company, so she kind of just like kicked back or whatever, but I'm like, you don't really do anything though, do you? And I forgot that she still is a PI, so she wants Alexis to join, and I think it would be kind of interesting. It give Alexis something to do now she's out. Dante got caught up with Olivia, and Dante was need to talk about he spent time with Sam because everything that happened, and he was there to console her. And when she was like, "Oh, yeah, you're there to console her, right? You're a good boy for sitting there doing it." I was like, "Yeah, he was doing a lot more than consulting." But I already touched on that yesterday, and I'm just not even gonna not doing it. Just not gonna. Nope. Um, Didn't really get into much of anything, and that was pretty much their scenes, more or less. Maxie, what the hell is it that you want? Seriously, what is it that you want? She walks in there and she was like, "Oh well, this plan isn't gonna work, and you need to undo it. You need to you need to fix it." I'm sitting there thinking, you ungrateful. Here's the thing. I just didn't like her energy when she walked into the room, and she was all like, "Well, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and this, that, and the third. And this isn't gonna work, and that's not gonna work." And then she was all like, "Oh, Chasen, you're not a cop anymore, so that means that you're practically useless." I was like, wow. Okay, Maxie, what is your grand plan? And then Maxie's grand plan is sit there and tell Valentine and hope that Valentine will sit there and just, go along with the plan. And I'm sitting there thinking, you stupid dingbat. Okay? Because if you would have did that from the start, you wouldn't be in the mess that you're in now. And practically having other people cover your ass and clean up your mess. I mean, And granted, Brooklyn did want something too. So, I'm not gonna sit there and put all of it on Maxie. But, for her to sit there and practically start off a sentence like, oh well, so then you have no gun, no shield, you're practically useless. I was like, wow. I mean, granted, it's true. He doesn't have a badge, he doesn't have a gun, unless he can, still carry, a firearm. I mean, even Chase was like, yeah, she got a point there. But Brooklyn's like, listen, we already went with the plan. Because Maxie, I'm not gonna lie, she came into the room and she was like, listen, I'm pretty sure Peter's gonna figure it out right now. Okay, he's gonna figure it out because if Chase figured it out, and now that Valentine just happens to not be the father, it's not gonna be that much of a stretch for Peter to figure it out. And she was right. But again, you walking in there being all Miss Bossy Pants, like, that type of energy is not going to work for anyone. It's really not. But somewhere along the line, she does run into Drew, and they look at each other, and I think that's about it. Now Valentine is pissed. Valentine wants revenge. Okay, he said those mean words to Brooklyn because he knew that Chase was gonna do something. And, Anna was all like, "Oh well, that's so beneath you. You're a better person now. This, that, and the third." I'm like, listen, it's very easy to stand on that high horse and think of, and be all like, hindsight this and that and the third. But I'm like, if that would have happened to you, or that would have happened to somebody that was close to you, like Robin or something like that, you damn well would have went on revenge mode. Okay, you would have damn went on revenge mode. So don't sit there and talk about, oh, you're a different person, you're a changed man. This man is hurting. Okay, this man is hurting and he wants revenge. So before you start with that whole this, that, and third, that sanctimonious. And I'm not gonna lie, when she was sitting there saying that, when she was talking about how Valentine, you're a better person, this, that, and the third. Now I remember a while back when this is after Robin supposedly died, and Anna came at Patrick hardbody, okay, because of Patrick cheating on her with that crazy chick. And she was laying into him so thick, like, oh, I can't believe you cheated on her. She went to Africa to sit there and help people, whatever, and you did this behind her back, this, that, and third. And I'm like, one of the very few times that I got really angry. Because the thing was, Robin cheated on Patrick first. She was in a hotel with another guy making out. I don't care if it was just making out, if it was just hand holding. It was cheating. And she did just up and leave. Now granted, you found out why later on, but it wasn't like, Robin was just this innocent little, baby or whatever. So, like, the whole talk and everything like that, and granted, while after, Anna did apologize to Patrick for coming at him like that. I'm like, just stop. Now Valentine does eventually come over to the Quartermaines and see Brooklyn and Chase just standing there. So I don't know if he's gonna sit there and try to be. Is he gonna be nice? If he's just gonna sit there and keep going with his revenge plan, who knows? I'm up for either. I am up for either of them. So Sasha wakes up out of a nightmare or whatever, and she's practically trying to crawl on the ground to see her child. Um, after Nina and Brando kind of get her back up and in bed, she wants to see her child. Now Amy, full disclosure, I don't like Amy. I don't like Amy. I didn't like Amy since I first started to watch soap operas back again, and I saw her. I did not like her, and it has not changed. I just feel like she's just one of those characters that just kind of just comes in and she does something, and then she's like gone, and it's one of those things where it's like you could have just had a stand-in. You could have just had any nurse do that. It's sort of like that other one, Deidre, something with a Deshauna, the one with a name with a D. It's like she'll come in every once in a while and she'll be there and then she'll leave and then you're just like, why were you here in the first place? Like they could have just got anyone. Anyway, Amy's like, you can't go anywhere. Your doctor is in surgery right now and she's the only person that can sign off. So she leaves and you know, more or less Brando's like, yo, listen, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're gonna go and see his child. And Nina, you know, they asked Nina for help. And so Nina decides to distract Amy. She goes in another room, pushes the panic button or whatever. Amy gets there. And then out of nowhere, you know, Nina's like, you know, I want to do a piece on the nurses because, you know, they're the heart of hospitals, which is true. You know, she was like, she wants to do a piece on them and stuff like that. And, you know, here's the thing. At first, it was a lie. And I kind of felt bad for Amy because it was like you're setting this woman up and she's, you know, talking about being a model and stuff like that and just being really excited. And I'm like, when she finds out that it's not real, listen, I don't like the chick, but it's kind of bad. Turns out that, you know, afterwards she was like, yeah, I came up with this lie, which is actually a really good idea. So now she's actually going to do it. So that's nice. Now Brando and Sasha did get to see their child, and they named the child Liam. So, you know, that's cool. I like the name. Now I'm sitting there just thinking, I was like, oh, that's just one more name, one more double name. Gonna have to sit there and remember. I mean, I gotta sit there and think about two Finns now, one from here, one from B&B. Liam, one from here, one from B&B. So that's always fun. You know, eventually when I do decide to watch Y&R again, oh, that's just gonna be a whole different other mess. But yeah, they got to see their child, so that's cool. And they got back in time, and apparently no one was alive there. Oh, on their way there, you ever notice that whenever they hire one of those like random people to like, you know, either attack them or just kind of be like a stand-in and say like one or two lines, it just comes across as awkward as hell. Like, okay, so they're sneaking in to try to see the baby, and they run across this deranged fan, and she's all like, "Oh, you know, can I take a selfie of you?" Now, mind you, this woman is in a hospital gown, and your little delusional ass is just like, "Oh, I want to take a selfie with you. You're the face of deception. Can I take a selfie with you?" What the is wrong with you? So, you know, they're like, all right, fine, whatever. Let's just make it quick. Like, all right, listen, we about to go. We're about to go and see our baby. And she's like, can I come with you? It's just one of those things where it's like, this is one of those things where it's like, this is the problem with just people who are famous and they got to sit there and come across deranged people like them. Deranged people like them. Hell, even YouTubers had to sit there and deal with that at times, where they just have to deal with some person that's just not really all there. And because I'm the type of person that wants to shoot for the stars, I want to get to that point. And yeah, I don't want to deal with that, but I guess that kind of comes with the territory. But yeah, I was just like, what the? And it was just so awkward too. She was like, oh, can I take a selfie with you? What person? Anyway, they go see their child, so named Liam. That's cool. I always sit there and try to look at these things like to each his own. So when I was watching a little bit of Brock TV's video yesterday, and I got to sit there and probably try to finish watching it. He was like, he was like, yeah, I enjoyed this episode. And I was like, what part? I didn't think the episode was bad yesterday. I didn't think the episode today was bad, but I didn't really think it was good. It's one of those things where it just, for the last past couple of days, this show has just been in this weird transition where it's like, I feel like they're rewriting scenes. Because we've been having like about 3 or 4 days of everyone sitting there mourning Jason and stuff like that, and it's like, alright, Jason's my guy and everything like that, and he's been on the show forever, and I totally get that and everything like that, so, but at the same time, could we not sound like a dick or insensitive? Can we just kind of get to the rest of the story and the rest of the characters, and like, are we actually going to go somewhere? And that's been the thing, like, these last couple episodes just felt very stagnant. It almost feels like they're stalling, like they're rewriting something. It feels like we're in the story, but it's kind of slowing down a little bit because it's like we're waiting for the writers to kind of like rewrite certain scenes. It feels off. And granted, that's probably because, Jason was supposed to actually be in a lot of these scenes. It's just something in my gut. It just feels like it. And the last time I felt like that was about the whole Nixon Fall story. And then I'm just getting this sense again where it's like, these episodes didn't really go anywhere. I mean, not that much really happened. Minor things happen, yes. But, like, it still feels like it's stagnant. And I know I can't be the only person that feels that way. Let me just check my notes. I feel like that's about it. I really do. I also feel like I missed something because I always feel like I missed something. And if I did, please write down in the comment section below. Also, I just want to thank everyone for watching. And I know I say it a lot, and it's because I mean it. My schedule's been kind of crazy. There's times I will do it really early, put out my review really early, pretty early, pretty late, and it's just sometimes I put out this review first, sometimes I put it out second. And the reason for that again is because by the time that I get home, and since I watch GH on my phone is usually about dead by the time I get home. So I usually always sit there and watch Days on my TV, on my PlayStation. And so that's why usually my Days video comes out first. And this way it gives my phone time to charge. And this way GH comes out second. Unless, it's still not charged. Or if it's really early, I may do B&B first because, well, it's only 18 minutes. But, it fluctuates sometimes. And, with that being said, I just still want to thank people for watching because, like, you obviously don't have to. And there's, you got Brock TV. You got my guy Soap Sanctuaries coming back. And, a couple other people that also do it. So I always appreciate when anyone watches my videos. And so, thank you. That being said, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video.